Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is TVP World. You're watching World News. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and these are the latest headlines. The Polish Prime Minister says there are many signs the war in Ukraine could soon be, at the very least, suspended. He made the comment during a visit to the Air Force Institute of Technology in Warsaw, but offered no further details.
There is a good chance. There are many signs indicating that the Russian-Ukrainian war may at least be suspended in the near future. But this does not change our situation in any way. Poland must be ready to defend itself regardless of developments on the Russian-Ukrainian front. And we cannot waste a single hour or a day in this race to build a modern army.
Polish President-elect Karol Nawrocki, who is set to take the oath of office on August 6, has become Poland's most trusted politician, according to a new poll. Nearly 47% of respondents said they have confidence in Nawrocki. A new IBRIS poll shows a 5 percentage point increase in support for President-elect Karol Nawrocki compared to last month, putting him ahead of the previous leader, Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski, who now ranks second. The survey by IBRIS was conducted just days before Nawrocki's official swearing in. It also shows a slight drop in support for politicians from the ruling coalition, including Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski, who narrowly lost to Nawrocki in a June 1 runoff. The lower House Speaker Szymon Hołownia saw the steepest decline and is now the least trusted political figure. The drop comes after his recent claim that he was pressured to block Nawrocki's inauguration, a move he described as a coup d'etat. U.S. President Donald Trump says Russia has 10 days to halt military operation in Ukraine or face new sanctions. He made the statement aboard Air Force One while returning to the United States from Scotland.
10 days from today.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
Good. We have a scoop. And then, we're going to put on tariffs and stuff, and I don't know if it's going to affect Russia, because he wants to obviously probably keep the war going. But we're going to put on tariffs. The various things that you put on. It may or may not affect them, but it could.
A Russian strike on a food warehouse in Ukraine's Kharkiv region has killed one person and injured 4 others. The attack triggered a large fire with thick smoke seen rising over the area. The strike took place in a rural settlement just outside Kharkiv. According to Ukraine's state news agency Ukrineinfo, Russian forces shelled the city and 9 nearby settlements over the past 24 hours, killing 6 people and wounding 8. Moldovan President Maia Sandu says Russia is planning to assert control over Moldova starting this autumn. Speaking at a press briefing in Chisinau, she accused Moscow of preparing an unprecedented campaign to interfere in the country's parliamentary elections, which are scheduled for September.
President Sandu warned that electoral corruption and illegal external financing from Russia were the biggest threats to the upcoming election. Moscow already controls a part of Moldova, the breakaway region of Transnistria, which borders Ukraine from the west. And similarly to Ukraine, since Moldova decided on a pro-European path, launching the process of negotiations in preparation for EU accession, Moscow has been attempting to undermine its democratic institutions, likely with the end goal of installing a pro-Kremlin government in Chisinau.
Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni says Russia's decision to include President Sergio Mattarella and other top officials on a list of so-called Russophobes is an unacceptable provocation. Earlier, the Italian Foreign Ministry summoned the Russian ambassador and delivered a formal note of protest. The list, published by Russia's Foreign Ministry, names Italy's Foreign Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and the Defense Minister. Among the cited reasons is a speech by President Mattarella in February at the University of Marseille, where he compared Russia's actions to Ukraine to those of Nazi Germany. At the time, Moscow warned the remarks would have consequences. Prime Minister Meloni says Italy remains firmly committed to supporting Ukraine and will continue to stand by the Ukrainian people in their fight against Russian aggression. Russian and Chinese naval forces will hold joint drills near Vladivostok in August under the name Maritime Interaction 2025. Following the exercise, both countries are expected to carry out their 6th joint naval patrol in the Pacific.
Russian and Chinese naval forces will conduct joint naval drills called Maritime Interaction 2025 near Vladivostok in August. The 6th joint Russian-Chinese naval patrol in the Pacific is also scheduled to take place after the exercises. The naval drills will run from August 1st to August 5th, according to the press office of the Russian Pacific Fleet, which went on to add in a statement that the exercises are defensive in nature and are not directed against other countries. The headquarters for the drills will be based in Vladivostok, where joint operations will be planned and organized. A Chinese Defense Ministry representative has said that the drills were announced in the annual cooperation plan between the two countries, emphasizing that they are unrelated to the current international and regional situation.
The German government has unveiled a draft budget for 2026, projecting record high investment levels alongside new debt totaling 174.3 billion euros. The plan also includes an increase in funding for Ukraine, which is set to rise to around 9 billion euros.
It's important for me to emphasize that we are planning to increase the funding for Ukraine. In this year, 2025, 8.3 billion. We are now going to 8.5. If you add in other funds, we end up with around 9 billion euro a year that we have budgeted as support for Ukraine. And we will also invest massively in all matters related to cybersecurity, the defense against espionage and sabotage. We are also seeing more and more drone overflights. Without Vladimir Putin, many things would be easier. But it is right that we invest in our security.
Following a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake in Russia's far east, tsunami alerts were issued, triggering urgent evacuations and warnings of waves as high as 4 meters. The quake struck off the coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula, prompting tsunami warnings across the Pacific. Evacuations were ordered in French Polynesia and Japan, where tens of thousands were told to leave coastal areas. In Russia's Kuril Island, waves up to 5 meters caused flooring and damage. Local authorities urged residents not to use gas-powered heating. Despite early concerns about a possible impact on the Fukushima nuclear plant, no major injuries or nuclear incidents have been reported. Authorities remain on high alert. A new report from Statistic Poland shows that life expectancy in 2024 has reached record highs, reversing the decline seen during the COVID-19 pandemic. The average life expectancy now stands at 82.26 years for women and 74.93 years for men, marking a strong post-pandemic recovery. Regional differences remain, with men in urban areas generally living longer than those in the countryside. For women, life expectancy varies more by region than by urban or rural location. Despite the gains, Poland continues to face long-term challenges, including rising obesity rates and air pollution, which could slow future progress. Known to fans as the Prince of Darkness and the Godfather of heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne was honored with a funeral procession in his hometown of Birmingham, England. His wife, Sharon Osbourne, joined by their children, laid a floral tribute at a bench and bridge dedicated to his band, Black Sabbath. And with that, we conclude this edition of World News, but stick around as we have the bottom line coming up next with our very own Marie Cato.